Hi, boys and girls. It is the creator of Bored with Miss Reynolds, Better Off Reading Every Day. And I think I mentioned to you that every Wednesday at school is going to be Sesame Street Wednesday. I'm going to be doing books about Sesame Street. We're going to be dressing up in our favorite different things having to do with Sesame Street. And this week, it's all about Bert and Ernie. And I have from Goodnight Stories, the Sesame Street 1, 2, 3 Goodnight Stories book, I have with me today Elmo, and I'm going to be reading the story of Goodnight, Bert. Goodnight, Bert. And of course, I have Bert and Ernie right here. I myself, boys and girls, have I'm going to put them right here. I have my pajamas on, my Sesame Street pajamas. I have my Sesame Street socks. And I was so excited to read to you a Sesame Street book. Oh, did you check out this? Oh yeah, isn't it beautiful? One of my favorite pajamas to wear along with this one. That's the bottom. Good night, Bert. Oh wee, sighed Bert. Am I tucked? Oh, this is gonna be a good one. Hi, boys and girls. It is the creator of Bored with Miss Reynolds, Better Off Reading Every Day, and I have a fun one for you. I know that I told you that every Wednesday at school for this school year, I am dedicating to Sesame Street. It's going to be Sesame Street Wednesdays, but I'm taking Bored to school along with my pajamas, my fun friends, my books, Elmo, so many fun things, and we're going to have Sesame Street there. Today, I am reading Good Night, Bert. Good Night, Bert. And this is from the Goodnight Stories Sesame Street book. And you'll find that inside, Good Night, Bert. And of course, I have Elmo right here. He's relaxing. And I've got my socks, my Sesame Street socks, got my Sesame Street pajamas, and check out the top, Sesame Street. It's going to be good. Good night, Bert. Oh wee, sighed Bert. Am I tuckered out? This old bed of mine is looking mighty inviting. Bert stretched and yawned sleepily. Yes, sir. I sure am looking forward to a little shut-eye. Yeah, Bert, said Ernie dreamily. Bert, what if your pillow were really a nice fluffy cloud and you could float away on when you dream? Neat idea, said Bert. Good night now, Ernie. I like that. What if your pillow were a nice fluffy cloud that you could float away on when you dream? What a fantastic idea. Just imagine, said Ernie, you'd sail way up high in the sky. Fields would unfold beneath you like a patchwork quilt. Towns below would be tiny. Wouldn't that be something, old buddy? Yes, it would be something. But if you don't mind, Ernie, I'd like to go to sleep now. Bert turned over on his side with his back to Ernie. He tugged his covers more tightly around him. What if your knees were mountains? Did you ever think of that, Bert? Said Ernie. No, Ernie, answered Bert. I never thought of that. Not once. Ernie bent his knees under the covers. Look, Bert, said Ernie. He let his fingers do the walking up over his knees. Booty-hoo, booty-hoo, booty-ooda. My fingers are hiking up the mountains. What an excellent view. Hee-hee, hee-hee. Bert didn't laugh at all. Okay, Ernie, he said. Very funny. Could we please get a little sleep now? Anything you say, Bert. But wouldn't it be incredible if there were a huge earthquake? Ernie shook his knees so it looked like the mountains were trembling. Rumble, rumble, he said. Boom, bang, thunder, lightning. Oh no! The mountains are tumbling down. There they go, Bert. Watch, Bert. Ernie knocked his knees together and the blankets rippled over them. Geronimo, yelled Ernie as his fingers jumped off the crumbling mountain. Ernie, groaned Bert. Luckily, said Ernie, there is no earthquake. There are no mountains, just my good old tired knees. Yup, Bert. It sure is nice to get into bed after a long day. Good night, old buddy. Sleep tight. Ernie yawned and snuggled down under his covers. Soon he was snoring soundly. Bert couldn't sleep. He sat up and peeked over at Ernie to make sure his friend was truly asleep. Then Bert bent his knees like Ernie so they looked like mountains. Bert walked his fingers up the mountains. At the top of the mountains, his fingers paused. Good night, knees, said Bert. Then he walked his fingers step by step down the mountain over the covers. Bert began to relax. He hummed, booty-hoo-doo, booty-hoo-doo. His pillow felt so soft as a cloud. Good night, pillow, whispered Bert. Then he drifted off into a deep, sweet sleep. And that is the end, boys and girls, of... Do you remember what it was called? You don't? It was called Goodnight, Bert. It is Bored with Miss Reynolds, Better Off Reading Every Day. I do not own the rights to this book that I have read to you, but I love storytelling magic. And the magic of today's story is, it was all about these two friends getting some rest and talking to each other while they were going to bed. And it all came out of this book, which is the Goodnight Stories from Sesame Street. And like I told you, boys and girls, every Wednesday, I'm going to be doing Sesame Street at school with my kids. And sometime during the week, I'm going to be doing Sesame Street right here with you. I hope that you had a good time listening to this story as I did reading it to you. And I hope that you are out there living your best Sesame Street life like I do, because I love, love, love Sesame Street and all my friends. That is why I have these socks and this pajamas and these friends, so we could enjoy all things Sesame Street. I'll see you again soon. Mwah. Bye. Good night, Elmo. Good night, Bert and Ernie. Good night, boys and girls. And good night, Bored with Miss Reynolds.